Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we got the #1 point center in NBA 2K26. So, shout out to 2K for flying me out for the community day to capture this type of footage right here. Really do appreciate it, and as you can see in today's video, we have the true blue point center. Now, I wanted to be able to do all these builds just from the ground up so you guys could see the types of badges that are being applied. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I kind of forget, but then I remember like right in the middle of the recording, like as you can see on this one, I'm like, oh, forgot the badges, so I just pop it on and show you that all I really missed was brick wall going to silver, right? Simple as that. Anyway, the point of this is that I want to let you guys see the types of tethers that kind of come along with the build, like the fact that close shot has to get forced up with offensive rebound, the fact that like interior defense does, stuff like that too, just so you can kind of get a feel for the type of things that we were able to kind of understand as we were building it. But I was under a lot of time constraint when it came to the builder stuff, so I really wanted to just lock in and get a couple screenshots of stuff like that, take a picture of the build, and then come back at the very end when I had a lot of stuff figured out of just all the animations and stuff that we wanted on everything, and more than anything to keep the recordings clean so I could be able to get all this footage really easily sorted and just like absolutely be ready and locked in. So as you can see, the build actually has really good pass accuracy too. Like 12 more. I had 75 on my Pierce Slasher build, the 6'8", and I'm not really sure where the attributes were lost necessarily on that 6'8". As you can see, we have like pretty much the same driving dunk as I did on the 6'8", with 90 standing dunk as well. Still go for the 80 driving layup as well. You can see I'm gonna like tick down the ball handle to get that. So with this build, I do think with the max +1s and +2s, you want to embrace the point center style. I think like it's gonna be a little tougher to be on a 6'10" like this. Like I'm just trying to compare between the two builds that I have. For those of you who really want to play my style of ball, it's a big debate between would I'd rather play on my 6'10" right here or on the 6'8". The 6'8", however, with the max +1 tiers, gets things like brick wall in tier 2 or lightning launch, stuff like that. I mean, technically you get lightning launch right here as well, but the brick wall is a big one because it'll allow you to play as a role player with your max +1s and +2s and stuff like that, as opposed to this is going to be utilizing a lot of those tier 2s in more ball handler centric ways of things like handles for days, lightning launch. We got probably like, I'd like to think those are the main two. If you wanted to maybe fit into the role player stuff a little bit, maybe Challenger, a movable potentially, Area Wizard is even maybe something that's up for debate. I'd like to think it's possible it could be good as a like role player, still kind of specialist thing. But again, the problem with the bigs in this case is that a lot of the big man centric stuff like rebound chaser, brick wall, all that is all in tier 1, and then on top of that, posterizer also is too. So it's a little bit of a tough scene. However, if you do want to compare, the only thing the 6'8" really had on the 6'10", on paper at least, is more speed, more agility, more strength, same vert. So like a lot of what this build has over it is, for instance, offense rebound is high enough to get gold rebound chaser. I can only get silver on the 6'8". The perimeter defense is a little bit higher, but I don't know, if the fact that it's like 2 inches shorter, it's not a big talking point. And then the defense is mostly all the same. I would say this is in the same exact ballpark. And then this has more pass accuracy as well, and still has the same driving dunk with more standing dunk as well. Now, again, physicals is where the 6'8" stands out a lot, and then the badge tiering is also where it stands out, and then the animations slightly. So, for instance, the 6'8" gets a lot better behind the backs. I'm still going to be searching for a great behind the back for a 6'10", and at the very worst case scenario, we default back to pro. We'll get into the animation stuff in just a second, showing you the build, kind of labbing up just a little bit. And I guess also technically the 6'8" has more speed with ball, and like I said, a significant more ball handle as well. But it just depends the type of role you want to play, essentially. This build can fit in a whole lot better as a center, if you know what I'm saying. It'll fit in with your IRLs and just randoms and stuff like that. Dudes who cannot play, like they refuse to play with a 6'8" undersized big that can't shoot, right? I mean, that's like foreign to a lot of people. So this is a lot more like fits in, yet can still have a lot of fun, is kind of the way I'd put it. You can still throw a lot of good breaks and stuff like that with the outlet passes and stuff. It's probably lacking defensively on the interior just a little bit to like, you know, reasonably play center, I would say. I think defensively, this should probably play more of a perimeter-centric role. You'd be surprised how freakishly well these 6'10s and stuff move every single year with great speed, great strength, great prim D for the fact that you're that tall. These things can really like play solid perimeter defense. And at the very worst case scenario, you can just kind of be a Swiss Army knife that plays in the corner on things like fives, rec, stuff like that, and just still be a good rebounder while also just having like a lot of versatility to still be decent at everything. Now, one thing I really want to bring up to you guys is the consideration of changing this build just a little bit. So now that I know a lot of the takeover stuff, and again, I didn't have a whole lot of time to lab out stuff like this, but I think if you would like to kind of commit to the ability to play multifaceted in your roles of having A, some fun opportunities of running things like poster machine, and then B, have the like more role player opportunities of running a takeover that fits into like Crasher, I think what you might want to do is get 85 strength instead of the 83 that we have on the build currently. And then all you have to do is tick up the rebounding on the defensive board by 1. And you'd get the 80 rebound that's needed for the D board and then the 85 strength as well. Now, you should be able to keep 85 strength while also keeping 68 speed with ball, which is the necessity to get the bronze lightning launch at the very least. I think that should be fine. Anyway, as for the build name, it also gets the Putback Pro name, which is also something that the 6'8 got. I'm not sure I really like it that much. Play Slash is really cool though. That's a really cool kind of prefix, but suffix, I don't know if I'm really liking the Putback Pro a whole lot, to be fair. I noticed something funny that they do in the builder here is that they'll hit you with like opposing centers park in the paint sometimes, but then sometimes they'll be like, perimeter spacing ends when the ball touches this guy's hands or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, long story short, weakness, can't shoot. Strengths, it's all about finishing and rebounding and stuff like that, and just the passing as well. But anyway, let's get into the animations real quick here. So let's go ahead and just go ahead and like talk about all these things that we need to change right here of things like dribble style and all that. So what you really want to lock in is the Giannis dribble style for bigs. We've already talked about that in the videos of just kind of detailing things like that. For the layup floater, absolutely Bam Adebayo. We've talked about that as well on a lot of the stuff that we've been kind of posting with the slasher videos and just the floater video that we've been talking about. And then as far as the behind the back, you can see I'm rocking Pro right now. Like I said, I'll have to lab a little bit more and figure out the types of things that you can play with on a 6'10", because I was assuming that it was going to be Jason Tatum again, but they actually changed the height capping on that to make it so it can only be the wings that can get that Jason Tatum behind the back. So unfortunately, my 6'10" go-to behind the back has been nerfed a little bit, but there's plenty of stuff that it seems you can kind of mess around with and play with. But the thing that we really need to note when using this Giannis dribble style, you got to move toward your ball hand. You want to absolutely like not, well, you could do it, but it's not great. You don't really want to run toward your offhand and do like the cross launches and stuff. You really want to just, wherever you dribble to, run to. Simple as that, right? Now, this Bam floater, as you can see, is nasty too. Like this is going to be disgusting for sure. That time you can see I screwed it up through just the movement that I ended up accidentally doing. Again, just kind of showcasing slightly being able to utilize your offhand. Maybe it lets you slow chain into dribble moves a little bit more as well. You can also do the big behind the back with this, but Pro makes it a little bit harder to do like a second one. I'll actually pull up the 6'8" real quick to kind of show you what I'm talking about. And this is why, like I said, I'll have to lab out a little bit more on the behind the back to see if the 6'10" can fully be unleashed. I'm sure there's plenty of people who will really get to labbing like that. But let me show you the 6'8" just as a comparison real quick. All right, so like for instance, the 6'10" cannot do this right here. It can't do a big behind the back and then transition straight into a downhill behind the back with Pro at least. So Pro doesn't allow you to do this part of the behind the back combo where it does like the second one. You can still do this big behind the back, but and for that matter, you could still do another behind the back off this, but you have to be running downhill for long enough to actually get the downhill behind the back. For whatever reason, this D-book behind the back for the 6'8" and stuff like that, it is able to just instantly transition straight into one off of the other one. And then for that matter, you could even do another like big behind the back, like the stationary one, straight like that if you just went again. But again, this type of stuff is very good. Behind the backs are major key for being able to play as a slasher, where you can flip the court a little bit, where like if a defender is cutting off that side, when you drive that way, you can just instantly behind the back toward the other way while keeping your movement still going downhill. So that type of stuff is very important, and again, that's the type of thing I would like to lab a little bit more in the 610, but the Pro is not the end of the world. It could still be very good. You don't got to do all this extra freaking double behind the back nonsense. It's just really fun and nice to have, and it could get more flashy, I guess is what I'm saying. So I'm a fan of the 6.8 a little bit too, but the value of being able to be a standing dunk meter guy while also having the driving dunk still at the same elite level as the 6.8s can get, and then still have like solid screen setting, great rebounding, and like a really good playmaking ability of like the pass accuracy. It can fit in more as a role player than this 6.8 could, for instance. So it just depends the style you're looking at. Do you want to fit in as a role player a little bit better, or do you want to be like the fun kind of star player that everything runs through you? You just got to have the right squad for something like that, though, unfortunately. So I think the 610 would fit a lot of you guys better because it can fit into your teammates like kind of repertoire a little bit more. Or again, if your teammates happen to be randoms, that also just kind of happens to work out that way because it's hard to fit in as like an undersized 6'8 like this. So yeah, here's one last look at the build if you'd like to take it all in and kind of just like view it once again. But I think this could be pretty solid. Again, it looks very similar to last year's builder, but and I was a big hater of that. I feel like I was the only one at Community Day kind of being like, dang, this kind of sucks for like build videos that like it's gonna be like the exact same thing. But obviously the grain of salt that you need to take with that is the fact that, like I said, a lot of things have changed as far as the dribble styles, the layups, the dunks, everything as far as that stuff goes. So, and the gameplay itself too. Like we'll see as that develops as well if a lot of this stuff holds up as far as like if, let's say like if a 7-2 can even 7-1 can even get away with being on the court at all, you know, like we don't know that type of stuff yet. We don't know if like they're gonna get exposed on, I mean, obviously, you know, like for threes and stuff like that, it usually happens, but I don't know. You never know how fives works and stuff like that. It's possible they just get up and down the court too slow, and like that kind of limits them. So we don't know everything yet, but I will say you can't really go wrong with builds in this height range very often, between like 6'10 to 6'7, something like that. They always find a way to be comfortable on the court, and like no matter what you do with them, it's always just a glue guy that's easy to fit on the team, whether it's park or pro-am or anything like that. So anyway, soft video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub for new time noties, all that good stuff. Like always, try to 1 to 1,000 likes or 2,000 potentially. And also, I wanted to plug 2K Labs as well, so shout out to them. If you made it to the end of the video though, before we play that insert, put 610 or put play slash or put point center, whatever you'd like to put in the comments. Sure, sports mail all the way through to this point in the video. But anyway, shout out to 2K Labs. I'm gonna run that promo real quick. Also, in case you guys didn't know, I'm teaming up with NBA 2K Lab again this year, and like always, they have the best statistical jump shots on their website. Put a ton of time into the labbing of those, and on top of that, have exact visual cues now for those jump shots they recommend to you. So first, they find the exact best jump shots and put them into the data that you can use if you buy the premium. Then, on top of that too, they have the ability to even just practice the jump shot if you don't want to sit in the my court, wait for a ball return, or for that matter, even have to track down your own ball. And if you're not someone that wants to use the most meta jump shot of like the best screen window and the absolute fastest, what you can do is plug your controller into your PC and shoot 10 shots of what feels comfortable to you, and they'll recommend you one of the jump shots that they've created as well. And again, this is a huge feature right here, the ability to take one of the custom jump shots they've recommended to you and find the exact release point of it and know exactly when to let go of your button on the controller or when to let go of the ball in your player's hands, obviously. And on top of that too, even do motion style tests, and they've got rankings of a ton of dribble moves. So if you want to check this out, like I said, go to NBA2KLab.com or the link in my description and put code LAKER for your promo code. This is going to save you about $1 per month or up to $2 depending on what length of subscription you decide to get. So when you come over to the website, you can hit the sign up tab, come over to the length of subscription you'd like to sign up for, and then hit register. And then when you do hit register, it'll create a coupon code, and you just are going to put in code LAKER right here if you'd like to as well. Now you guys absolutely feel free to sign up for whatever length of subscription you would like to do, but if you want to help me out, I make a percentage based off of the initial subscription price that you pay. So for instance, if you were to get the monthly, I'd only make a percentage off the $7.99, but if you were to do the yearly, I'd make the percentage off of that. So again, feel free to do whatever you'd like to. I don't want to pressure you any which way, but if you want to help me out just in specific, I'd really appreciate that as well. So I hope y'all enjoying the video. Let's get right back to it, but one last time, if you want to subscribe to the NBA 2K Lab Premium, just use code LAKER at checkout for 20% off. Anyway, that's all. Let's get back to the video now. But anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. And on that, take it easy, man. Peace.